Are throwing spikes kind of dumb? Stick around and we'll figure it out. And we're back, right chill, on 5 Minute Nice. And today, we have a spike. This is the Spike Z by TacticalEdged.dojo, who sent me this spurt, and I knew I had to test it out, so I have some footage of me throwing this thing. I'll let you guys know how it went. But first and foremost, cost-wise, over on the Tactical Edge site, which is TacticalEdged.dojo, you can pick this thing up for about 60 beans. It's made from 8CR13 MOV steel, Rockwell 59. Handle length is about 4.13 inches. Overall length is about 8.5 inches. The weight of this thing's about 4.5 ounces, so not too heavy. And I gotta say, I don't know much about throwing spikes or any of that business, but if Microtech made this thing, it cost you about $698 and change. So, not an awful price for what it is, but I have no use for spikes, and I thought about it. Are they kind of dumb? And what kind of sucks about this is this video was plaguing me for weeks. I had to get out and get some footage, so I just bring the camera outside and set it up. The only thing is, I completely forgot to change my settings from inside where it's dark, where I generally record. So I'm out in the sunshine, it's way too bright. I apologize, but I'm not doing it again. I can just tell you my findings. I threw this thing for about an hour, and with mixed results. If I got a real wind-up, kick the leg up, and, gave it the old heave-ho, I got it to stick about half the time. It was fun. It was satisfying when it worked. I think this would be a fun hobby. You can pick up a set of 3 of these things for $1 and change, but I don't know, it wasn't that easy for me, and I used to play baseball for many, many years. I was a pitcher, and I sort of just gave it my old wind-up, and then I had more success. But if I just gave it like a toss from the shoulder, it was very, very hard to get this thing to stick into my target. So I'd say about half the time it was successful, the other half the time no. So this brings up a philosophical question. Are throwing spikes kind of dumb? Before I let you guys know what I think, we'll just kind of go through it. What's the scenario where you need this? Okay, the bad guy's kind of far from you, and I guess you need stealth, because otherwise why wouldn't you use a mechanism? Just do the old Indiana Jones, right? So I was always taught never, ever, ever throw my knife. Ever. One of the worst things you can do is arm your opponent. I guess if they had a firearm and, it's sort of point blank and you have no other options, I guess do what you gotta do. But it's just not in my nature to huck a knife, A, I wouldn't want to damage the blade. B, I wouldn't want to, arm my opponent and have him use it against me. C, I'd be worried about missing or having it not stick. Different knives have different weights, and that's why you need a specialized thing like this, which is designed for throwing, But on a whole, I would never think to do that. It's just not in my programming. So with this thing, I'm thinking, okay, you're doing some Metal Gear Solid business. You got to be silent. You see the bad guy, and even if you throw the thing, though, you're probably not going to get a kill shot, right? So, I don't know, you hit him in the arm, he still alerts everybody, so I don't know. You miss, and it goes clattering on the ground, making a bunch of noise there. Every time I missed, it was really loud. So I don't know what the point of this thing would be in my world, other than a hobby. It is satisfying. It's a lot of fun. If you like throwing darts, you will enjoy this. And it's not an awful price for what you get. The thing held up very, very well. I was shocked because it didn't feel that sharp out of the box, but it had no problem sticking when my throw was lined up. And I'm sure a lot of this was user error, don't get me wrong, but most of you guys are about where I'm at. You haven't played sports in 20 years and, whatever. But just so you know, you need some distance between you and the target, and you got to give this thing a real huck. If you can do that, you stand a reasonable chance. Even if it hits handle first, I think that would be damaging, but I cannot think of a use for this thing in my life. Now, your mileage may vary. I would like to spark the discussion in the comments. Not a bad company. Thanks for Tactical Edge Dojo for sending this out. You guys seem very nice. They did hit me up a few times. Hey, where's the video? So, sorry it took a little while, but I had other videos scheduled, and I had to show me kind of throw in this, and as you can see, the footage kind of sucks. It's way too bright. I put it in black and white just to kind of offset it, but I didn't have a lot of success with this. Now, when it stuck, it was very satisfying. It penetrated pretty deeply, about 1 inch to 2. I think that would suck if you got hit with it in that manner. But in the world we live in, why wouldn't you just use a mechanism? I guess this is for, like, if you can't own a firearm for whatever reason legally, maybe this might be a good something to give you some distance defense. I don't know. I would consider a bow and arrow or something black powder. But they said it was 4.5 inches. Let's go ahead and weigh it. And it's saying 6 with the sheath. That's about right. So anyway, I don't know. 4.5. There it is. So yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I thought it was neat. It's just not for me. Let me know what you would use it for, and we'll see you next time right here on 5 Minute Knives.